up, party people? What's up? Happy Friday. It's Friday, and you made it. You made it. And so I know that many of you may be just getting off of work or traveling home from work, or you're still at work, and it was a little bit of an awkward time to do this. I am going to take a moment to go ahead and connect to Instagram. If you just give me 1 second to get that going. We went live here. And we're gonna go live. Hold on a minute. Let's see why I can't get this to stream. I may have waited a little too long. Hold on, if y'all just give me a second to populate, get this Instagram connected. It says that we're live, but we're not. Hold on, y'all. I want to get this going. The live video. I might have to. Oh, yeah, this is just really acting silly. So just give me a minute. But as you are logging on to Facebook or YouTube, let me know what city, what state, and or what country you might be logging in from. While I try to go ahead and get us connected on Instagram before we bring our amazing guest up. She has an amazing, powerful story, and I am going to add a different stream key. Remove this and let's do it again. Let me do this again. Instagram is a little bit more intricate, you guys, and I've just learned how to actually connect the Instagram. So now you guys have to give me a chance to get this up and going, okay? All right, so connecting the streaming software, going live. It is not, I don't know what is going on that it's not. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, I think we're gonna. All right, we are right now. Now you got to give me a second to mute it all out. Okay. So give me a second to. There we go. Boom. All right. I'm learning, right? And I'll tell you guys, 2023. Hey, Tedra. Hey, Sonia. 2023 was a year of total. Hold on. It unmuted. Hold on. Oh, you know what it is that's playing? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me let me figure this out. Hold on. It may be you. Uh, Marguerite, mute your one of your devices. I think is actually. Hold on. Let me go to my YouTube and see if it's my YouTube. Let me. Okay. 1 second. What's up, Tanya? What's up, Carol Jackson? I think we're okay now. So I had to mute everything in behind on the other devices to make sure that we could hear this clearly. But give me a second. Something's still unmuted. Thank you so much, Alice. Listen, I'm getting ready to give you guys an amazing story, but why is this still hold on, reset permissions. I can't figure out what it is. It's like a lag. You sound so I'm sounding good from y'all end? There's not like you're not hearing it double? I just wanna make sure you're not hearing it double. Perfect. Then I'm just gonna have to hear myself double. All right. So let me get our guests to the line. You guys, let me start off by saying this. We are making no medical claims. Okay. So I have to make sure that I'm saying it, hoping that you guys can hear me on Instagram. On Instagram, how do we sound? Do we sound like it's doubling? Not doubling on Instagram either. So we're great. So I just need y'all to know we're making no medical claims, but I need y'all to know it. We're making no medical claims. Can y'all type in the chat? No medical claims, but we're gonna talk today about how to control diabetes without medication. This is driving me. Yeah. It really is driving me crazy, but y'all said it's good, so we're gonna go ahead and go with it. But it's driving me crazy. Here's what I'm gonna do. Let me It's driving me crazy. Okay. It is driving me crazy. I wish I could figure out which one is doing this double thing for me, but y'all said it's good, so we good. Okay, so we're making no medical claims. We're gonna only test. Marguerite, do you hear it double? You don't hear it double either, it's just me. That crazy. Alright, so we're testifying. Y'all type in the word testify. Now, the young lady that I'm getting ready to put on, she is a longtime friend of mine, a very, very long-time friend of mine. If I don't want we really don't mind our age. I'm 51, she's 55, 56, she's 56. She just had a birthday, and she's 56, and I've watched this young lady grow immensely. She has a heart of gold. She loves to serve. But this young lady, after losing her mom, and you know what? She didn't lose her mom. Her mom gave her wings, and her mom went on to be with the Lord, but she's an only child, so that was very traumatic for her. But she was the caretaker of her mom. She was the 100% caretaker of her husband, who went on to be with the Lord, got his total healing on Mother's Day of last year, as well as her father-in-law, all at the same time. This young lady that I'm gonna bring to the line has struggled with her weight throughout the years, but she's, served in the military, so she knows how to have a lot of discipline, but every one of us deals with trauma in a different way, and this woman's gonna tell her story about how she was coping, 'cause it was just coping, and what she used as coping mechanism then led her to struggle with diabetes. The same thing that, was the ailment, the number one ailment of her husband. So she decided, "You know what? I have to." She said, "My clarity is going." Can you hear me now? And is it clearer? And guess what, y'all? That double thing stopped. So, okay. Um, the number one ailment that no, it's still double. Mrs. Faison dealt with was diabetes. So, although we're not here to make any medical claims, we are here to talk about diabetes, the struggle with diabetes, and this young lady has a triumphant testimony to give you all. All right, so bring it to the line. You got Mrs. Marguerite Faison. How are you today?
All is well, Mrs. Moore. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And I don't know why. Hold on one is hold on. They said that they could hear us well. It's more clear. I can hear you twice too. Let me see something, Marguerite. I really you're hearing us clear. Okay, so here's what I want you to do on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. If you know someone that has diabetes, has struggled, we want you guys to tag them live, all right? They said here. Can you tag everybody you know? Anybody that you if they got a loved one that has diabetes, if they themselves are struggling with diabetes, we need you all right now to everybody. Tag everybody right now. Tag somebody. We're not making any medical claims. But Marguerite, let me grab that picture you sent me this morning. And yeah, on the interview, I'll text you. But let me get this picture you sent me because I think it's important that we share that on the screen so people will know what in the world we might even be talking about. Okay. I'm gonna send it to my computer and I am going to let me put it on my screen. Marguerite FAISON. I know that this probably made you want to cry today. Hold on. Let us let me find what I'm looking for. Here we go. Can you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do? And then I want you to specifically explain what that means to you.
Absolutely. Before I introduce myself, I want to thank you, Mrs. Moore, for the opportunity to serve on this platform. I should be celebrating you. One, because if it were not for you, I would not be here sharing this news. That's one. Two, if it were not for you, I would not be so adamant about getting this right because, as you know, I lost my mother, my father in love, two aunts, a sister friend, and my husband in 23 months. And those of you who know me know that to be true. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. I came here with the military where I served for 8 years. So I know what it is to be disciplined. But guess what? As life is lifing and things are going on, you start not to have those habits that you normally had. You see, I have a 24-year-old son who was diagnosed on the autism spectrum when he was 9 years old. In that same year, I was laid off from my good corporate job and I became his advocate. That same year, my husband's diabetes start to go a little crazy. And because I was laid off, my husband chose to pay our bills versus going to the doctor. And so his diabetes got worse, got worse, got worse. He ended up having a lot of health challenges, ended up being diagnosed with end stage renal disease. And subsequently, his life, he went on to be with the Lord. Now, if you've ever been a caregiver, being a caregiver is not for the faint of heart. And while I was trying to keep him alive, my health was kind of deteriorating. Why? Because I am an emotional eater, or I was an emotional eater. And so because I was an emotional eater, I was eating all kinds of things from carbs to sweets to double portions. You see, I would spend a lot of time with Mrs. Morber at her home. And let me tell you, I would try not to eat in front of her because she's a leader that leads from the front. And as she lost her weight, I gained my weight. See, I knew her when she was 300 pounds. I knew her when she wasn't doing all the things that she's doing now. And I knew when I ate in front of her that it wasn't a good thing, because she may not have said anything all the time, but she cut those eyes, she shook her head, and she noticed this wasn't right. So subsequently, I was diagnosed with diabetes. But how many of you know that when you have diagnosis and the doctor says you have this, and let me tell you, us saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled people, I don't receive that in the name of Jesus. I can handle this and I don't have to do anything, and change is just going to go away because I am a prayer warrior and I know how to get a prayer through. But guess what? There were some things that I needed to do. And so, we were a part of a lot of companies. See, I've known Mrs. Moore for 22 years. I met her when my son was 2.5 years old. And I've watched her. And so, I've been in different companies where, we've used different products, and, I don't have anything bad to say about those, but you have to know what works for you. Now, the screenshot that you saw is my A1C. And if you know anything about diabetes, sweet blood, and we make no medical claims, an A1C is a 3-month average of your glucose level. So basically, it is saying if it is a certain level, then your daily glucose levels is probably high. If it's a certain level down here, then your daily glucose levels is kind of low. But if you saw from that chart, my A1C went as high as 8. Now, if you have this diagnosis, or you know someone that does, you know that 8 is very, very high. 8 was in a point that could easily, because see, I remember when my husband had an 8 and he went from an 8 to a 15. I remember the times where he went into insulin shock in our bedroom, and I tried to carry him down the stairs, and they ended up having to send the fire department with 6 big fire people to take him out the front door. I remember when he went into insulin shock and his blood sugar was at the 600 rate. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I got to get this under control. I got to get this under control. But let me tell you what really, really made me get it under control. 2 things. 1, my son, who's 24 years old, that lives at home, he started having some things go on with him, like frequent urination. He started having some things going with him, like lightheadedness and some stomach issues. When he went to the doctor was like, well, your blood sugar is elevated. One of the things that my son has difficulty with is cooking on top of the stove, because he has an issue with flames. So I do the cooking in our household. But guess what? In my grieving process, I cooked for my husband every day, every meal of the day, to keep him alive. But as soon as he closed his eyes, I stopped cooking. I stopped cooking. I was eating out. We were doing all kinds of craziness with our eating. So 1, his elevated blood sugar. But 2, my son came to me and said, I know that you have this diagnosis, and I know that you've gained a lot of weight, because people with autism don't have a whole lot of tact. So he wasn't being flip. He was just seeing me get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and not feel good, and be laying around and all that kind of stuff. So he was like, I see that you're gaining. But what he said to me that stuck with me, Mrs. Moore, what he said to me was, Mom, or mother, he calls me mother, my father went to the hospital and never came back home. If you go to a doctor, hospital, or any of that, I'm so afraid that you're not going to come back home. And it was stressing him out. He was having anxiety. Every time I moved, he was on me. And if you know my son is taller than I am. And so for him to be on me all the time, that wasn't comfortable for him. And it wasn't comfortable for me. But it took those two incidents to really say, Marguerite, you got to get this under control. Additionally, I don't want to be on medication. I didn't want to be on insulin. So I had to figure out a way to bring down, to watch or to do better with my diabetes diagnosis or my sweet blood. Again, we're not making any medical claims. And oh boy, I found a way. My first way, before I go further, Mrs. Moore may want to ask me some questions because I will get to talking and keep talking. Mrs. Moore, the floor is yours. You want me to keep going, Mrs. Moore? Okay. I can't hear you. So I'm going to keep going.
No, go ahead. You're doing amazing. Go right ahead.
Okay. So in order for me to control what it is that I was doing, I needed to detox my body. Because when you're eating a whole bunch of stuff and putting a whole bunch of carbs and putting a whole bunch of red meats and all that kind of stuff in your body needs to detox. What many of you don't know is that in order to lose weight, you got to get the bad stuff out to get the good stuff in. Let me give you an idea. Let me put it in simplistic terms. Have you ever seen, when kids play outside and they put dirt in a cup? The dirt is in the cup, but the more water they put in the cup, the more clear water they put in the cup, the dirt comes out, and eventually that cup becomes clear. So for me, I had to detox my body because I had a bunch of gunk in my body. I had stress of grief. I had foods, fried foods, and all that other kind of carbs and all that other kind of stuff in my body. So I had to get it all out. So first I needed to detox. And see right here, this is my drink to shrink. I was drinking 8 ounces twice a day of my drink to shrink. When we came out with my instant, oh shucks. My instant goes with me everywhere that I go. I could take it to work and drink it. I could drink it at home. I could drink it in the car. So I had to get the detox. Then we came out with this awesome Weight Magic Chews. Now I was like, candy. Because I never really grew up with candy when I was growing up, but I was like, oh, that's probably going to be sweet. That's going to be too sweet, and that's going to raise my blood sugar. But guess what? It didn't. It kept my blood sugar in the ranges that it needed to be in. So what I do with the candy is I eat it. I drink 20 ounces of water. I eat my candy. I drink another 20 ounces of water, and then I wait 30 minutes. Now, when we first were told, oh, it's going to control your appetite. Because I don't say suppress my appetite, because I still want to eat, but it controls it because even though I want to, when I try, I just can't. I used to be at Mrs. Moore's house or places where she was, and I would be eating 2, 3 helpings at a time. Because see, before Mrs. Moore was the Mrs. Moore she is now, we used to go to her house for car parties, and she would cook up some stuff, that pasta salad, that chicken, and all that kind of stuff. And I would be filling my plate. But now, I can barely eat 1 chicken wing. I can barely eat a cup of vegetables. So I had to detox. Then I used the candy to control my eating. I also used the candy for fat burning. And let me tell you, this is a side note. I had a really bad cold last week. All I could eat was this candy. I was in the bed for 48 hours. I don't know what just happened.
Can you hear me, Marguerite?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you. There's a
Okay.
lag. Can y'all
Now
hear me?
I can see, and now I see
Tedrick,
you
can you
again.
hear me?
Yes.
You can't see me?
I can see you now.
Tedrick, can you see me?
I can see you now. Can you still hear me?
Okay. Yeah, it's just I don't know what sound. Okay. Yeah, there's a like a lag. I don't know. It's just technical issue, but they can hear both of us keep
Okay.
going. Okay,
Well, what I
Marguerite,
was, go
you've
ahead.
said some very you said some very powerful. A lot of people don't realize that. All right, so as long as you can hear me, hold on one second. I want to see if this is the problem here. Can you hear me? Can you still, if you can still hear me on Facebook, y'all just give me a thumbs up. Okay. So a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to emotional eating, when it comes to obesity, when it comes to being overweight, a lot of it is so emotional. They just don't realize it's more emotional than anything, and people think that people just want to be overweight, but they don't realize that there are so many more dealing with that are way beyond just foods that we eat. And I'm certain most people say, "Well, I don't understand, Margaret, you lost your husband. Wasn't that fair enough?" And it wasn't for whatever reason. It just wasn't. It was a prick to you, but it wasn't the thing. It wasn't the thing. And I remember you conversation when you said that son was like, "I don't want you to have to go to the doctors and not come." And that was a little bit of a prick for you, a little bit more for you. But here recently, I see you watching you be even more um disciplined. What is it for you that was the light on the cake? Like, I gotta take control of
Um, Two things that you said. One thing that I want to address, the first thing that you said about emotional eating. And we are all grown here, so I'm sure that I can say this. Emotional eating to me was like having sex. Because my husband had diabetes and was had end-stage renal disease, my husband and I were not able to have sex. And so food was my substitute. Much like sex, much like drinking, food gave me that euphoric feeling. It's like orgasmic when I would eat food. So the more that I went through the grief process and I needed that sedation, I continued to eat. But what really, really was the final spark this summer, I was in so much pain. Pain to the point that I would turn over in the bed and wake up because my body was in so much pain. I would go to use the bathroom and could not get off the toilet without bearing down because I was in so much pain. Getting in the car was a struggle. I'd have to back in and then turn my body because I was in so much pain. And what I have learned is this: when you have pain, It's because you have inflammation. And because I had inflammation, because I was eating and eating and eating and eating, I had gotten back up to about 240 pounds. When I went to the doctor yesterday, I was 225. And so I knew that I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. You know, oftentimes, mentally, we're like, okay, I can move past the pain and I can fake it till I make it, and I can be on lives and be on social media, and people don't know that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. But I felt ill all summer.
Mm.
And I said, Marguerite, if God continues to sustain you life, you have to do different. Because, see, it's easy to say, I drink the juice and I'm only drinking it once a week. Or I'm eating the candy, but I'm only eating it once a day or once every other day or once a month. You got to do these. You got to do these together, and you have to do them consistently. And you have to stop fooling yourself. So I think what really got me started is I didn't want to be any pain anymore. I didn't want to feel, and I was telling my best friend this morning when I was talking to her, I felt like such a failure because I would lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. But my A1C was going higher, higher, higher. I was afraid that I was going to, let me be honest, I was going to die. And see, I've always said to people, I want to live to 120 without being on medication. And praise God, I'm not on insulin. My pancreas still works. My husband was on insulin. His pancreas didn't work. He ended up being diagnosed with some other stuff, and he started pushing up daisies. When I die, I want to be because the Lord has finished with me, not because I've caused my own death by my eating or my drinking or my lack of exercise. I want to live long and I want to prosper, because even though, the doctors have said a lot of things regarding my son and what he's not going to do, I want to see him get married. I want to see my grandchildren. I want to see my great grandchildren. And I want them to be able to say, my grandmother's bomb.com. She can do this. She can do that. She can do this with us. Instead of me being the grandmother that's being rolled in a wheelchair, or the grandmother who can't breathe because her belly is sitting in her lap. I want to be able to be that grandmother. And let me admit it too. I'm 56 years old and I'm suddenly single. Hey.
Right. Right.
You never know what second chapter God has for me. But how am I going to get into a relationship with anybody and I can't get my stuff under control? Because, see, I don't want to have to be a caregiver of another man. I don't want to have to do that. But how am I going to tell him he got to be healthy and he can't be having all this going on when I don't have my stuff straight? So I think those are the reasons why I really took it seriously and why I am working hard. Now, I still, you saw 6.4 and I want to be under 6. So I have some things to do. And one of the things that I'm going to do is to add consistently our elevate and our accelerate. I take my green capsule in the morning, but I wasn't necessarily taking the purple and white. But what I do know from one of our business partners that just shared this morning, she has lost weight because of the detox, the drink to shrink, as well as the green capsule, purple capsule, and the white capsule.
Right. All of
So
them.
I have not done that consistently. So that's my next step, to take those 3 capsules along with my drink to shrink and my weight management. And let me also share this. People, y'all sleeping on this collagen.
Yes, sir.
And
Yep.
let me tell you, this collagen, the reason I started taking this collagen is because I suffer with alopecia. And Mrs. Morver can tell you, yes, I do, because she used to do my hair for a long
Yeah.
time. Right here,
Right in the
my
center.
hair I was missing hair. Now I'm no longer missing hair there. And I'm gonna put that picture back up so you can see my hair is growing. Every time I go to the salon, my hairstylist is like, oh my gosh, that collagen is doing you well. But how about collagen is good for people that have sweet blood?
Yep.
Because it helps your insides. It helps with that joint health. It helps everything work well in your body. It's good for hair, skin, and nails. It's good for your insides too. And people are sleeping. Let me tell you why people are sleeping on this collagen. People are sleeping on this collagen because they think they can't afford it.
Yep.
But you can't afford not to drink this collagen. If you look at my stories, every morning I drink a shot of this collagen every morning.
You know, Marguerite,
Also, yes,
I want
ma'am.
to I want to talk about that a little bit. People think that their health is an expense. And you have had to plan 3 homegoings in the last year and a half or 2 years now. How expensive was just one of them?
The most expensive was my husband's, and I did his up because I could.
Because you could, right?
I
Right.
did his because he deserved the absolute best.
He did.
I spent $16,000 on my husband's home going. I I spent so much money that the funeral home man was like, Mrs. Faison, we're not gonna let you spend any more money. But he deserved it, because guess what? Even though my husband was so sick, even though he could barely walk, because most of you don't know, my husband had no sight in one eye and only 40% sight in the other. My husband's gait was so off, he couldn't walk from the front door to the curb where the car was.
Mhm.
My husband had to ride around in a wheelchair. But guess what? He planned or put plans together because of this industry right here, this direct sales network marketing industry, and the pushing of my husband. This house that I'm in, I paid my mortgage off 6 years early. This room that I'm in used to look so crazy. I didn't want to do lives because I didn't want people to see it. But because of this industry and the urgent of my husband, my life has absolutely changed. So yes, I spent 16,000 on
On
that
one on one homegoing.
on one funeral.
One funeral. And
One.
not to mention when your mom went on home to be with the Lord, you had to travel back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, and the expenses that you had to put into the house in Virginia, having people care for that property. You know, there's a lot of things, and what you were paying for your mother's care once
$8,500 a month.
a month.
$8,500 a month for my mother's care in an assisted living facility. And I still had a whole house down in Virginia that I
To take
had
care.
to pay for.
So while people think that our health is an expense, and I know that it's a thing, especially in the African American community, where we were never taught to put our health or make it a priority in most of, and I'm not, this is not one of them things, all Black people. No, the majority. I am talking the majority. We didn't see our parents working out and exercising growing up. We didn't see our parents taking supplements and using and or even cooking properly. We think that diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, we think all of those things, and not just in the Black communities. I'm talking because the Latino community, the Mexican community, Spanish community, a lot of the ethnic communities, other than the Asians, but a lot of the ethnic communities don't eat properly. They don't exercise properly, right? Now the Caucasians and the Asians do a lot of exercising. They eat, they prepare their foods a lot differently. They were taught a lot differently. And what it is now is there's a lot of unlearning. It's a lot of unlearning that we have to do when it comes to how we prepare our foods, and really learning to prepare our foods differently to expand our taste palette to like different things. Like I remember a time, and because I can be because you know me. So you know that even with the way that I cook now, and even when you and Sean and were coming over, I didn't cook bad. I just learned how to make the foods taste good. But you guys would come over, there wasn't no bunch of carbs and stuff around. So when you were eating, at least it was better choices. You just had to reprogram your mind as to the portions that you would eat when you were at our home. But I now like things like hummus, where there was a time when I would look at it and be like, I ain't eating that. Chickpeas, now I may not like chickpeas cooked another way, but when it is hummus, I like it. And I don't like everybody's hummus, right? But what I'm saying is I've broadened I've expanded my palate, my taste palettes to enjoy better foods that are better for us. And so I'm excited to watch you now and get more discipline. The discipline that I always knew was there. And for me, I think I'm harder. Now, I am harder on the people that I love. I am harder on the people that are in my circle, because I want you guys to live a long life. And I don't want to see my friends in pain. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make me feel good to see my friends in pain, and to know that that's a choice, that we can fix, that we control how we feel. And it really is the fact that we can choose to live through our fork, knife, and spoon, or we can choose to die through our fork, knife, and spoon. And so when you sent me that this morning, like I almost cried. I was in the gym and I almost cried, because I know that these products work, but I also knew that you really weren't using them the way that you should have. I knew that because I know you. And I know when you get consistent, because I've watched you do it. I know when Marguerite Faison puts her mind to something, that it's going to get done. Like there is no stopping her. She becomes like a ferocious, like something when that thing turns on inside of her. But I knew that there was some internal things obviously going on, which was the thing, which is why I love what we do, because what we do forces us to face who we really are, right? It forces us to have those very difficult conversations with ourselves. And you see that, Lena says, my daughter, classmate, 5 months ago, age 47, passed away from a diabetic coma. And so consistency, but yes, now that you heard Marguerite say, I am now really eating the candy for real, like not just once here and there, but she's for real eating this candy. And because she's for real eating this candy, she just said, I can barely finish a chicken wing. Now, let me tell y'all something. My girlfriend like to eat. Okay. She could out eat a man. For real. No, seriously, y'all. But she just said, I can barely finish a full chicken wing, and I can barely finish even my vegetables. Because what Marguerite would do, y'all, is she would be like, well, I mean, I can eat all of that because it's vegetables, right? So the portion, she would be like, but I can have a huge portion because it's the right thing to eat. Even when it's the right thing to eat, we have to control our portions too. So can you tell everyone how you're eating your candy? Because there's a lot of people out there, Marguerite, that I hear, like even people that buy the candy will say, oh, it's not suppressing my appetite. I already know when they say that, they're not doing it properly. So because you were just kind of teetering and tottering, now that you are really disciplined, and she said, I will live, I shall live, I shall not die. I shall live, I shall not die. But you knew that you needed something else to help you control the overeating habits that you had. And how are you now? Tell everybody, what is it that you're doing? How is this now having you in the place where you're now only needing, can't even finish a chicken wing? What are you doing?
What I'm doing is I drink 20 ounces. I'll drink a bottle, 16 ounces or 20 ounces. You know, those red silo cups, you know, the ones that we drink other stuff in. That's 20 ounces. So I'll drink one of those. Then I will eat one piece of candy. Then immediately I will drink another 20 ounces. Then I'll wait about 30 minutes. And so that 30-minute time where I'm waiting, I'm preparing the food. And then I will eat. What happens is it controls my appetite because it makes me, the candy and the water makes me full. See, water, and I know I'm saying a curse word, water with the candy is the secret sauce.
Activates it. Yeah.
Water with the candy is the secret sauce. And I will eat it with my 2 meals, my 2 largest meals. If I can say large anymore, my 2 meals, but I also now eat it before I go to bed because my body is prone to low blood sugar in the middle of the night. So much so, I wear a monitor on here. I wear a monitor. My blood sugar in the middle of the night would drop down to like 40 or 50. And you know, if you know anything about sweet blood or diabetes, having a blood sugar in the 40s or 50 is a no. So I eat candy about 3 times a day now. Get in all my water. I'm drinking about maybe 90 to 120 ounces of water a day. And I'm making sure that I'm eating this properly. Now, what I'm not doing, I'm not eating the candy and drinking the drink to shrink with the candy.
I was just getting ready to say that.
I'm not doing that.
There it is.
I'm not doing that because the instructions say water. The instructions say water, and juice is not water. Tea is not water. Soda is not water.
There's a lot of people that think, well, I'm gonna just drink my juice and eat the candy. That is not that is not the instruction. And I am watching people who eat the candy look no different. And it is because they're not drinking the water with the candy. You can have your juice after, but you have to drink your water with 1 to 2 pieces of candy, and then wait some time before you have your juice. Your juice does not replace the water.
Right.
It does not.
Water helps to slim you down. Look. You probably can't see it. Look at that.
We can see it.
Look at that. I'm slimming in the areas I need to slim. If you go back and look at my pictures from Cancun to now, I've slimmed in this area. And this area is close to your gut. Your gut is the second brain. And when there's a whole lot of weight on your gut, that makes all sorts of crazy stuff happen. And I don't want to feel like I'm crazy anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to feel like I'm off the charts. Yes, I'm going to continue to grieve because grieving is a process. And I have to remind myself not to overeat when I'm going through the grieving, because I could easily drop a tear or several right now. But I'm learning to deal with grief in other ways other than eating. And if I can leave you with anything, it's about you. It's about you. And our system that we have, it's all about you. It's about you, because you can't be any good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't want to share my testimony. Why? Because I am so invested in sharing everybody else's testimony that I put myself on the back burner. I put myself on the back burner.
Oh, it looks like Marguerite's device might have died. She'll come back. She'll come back. She will come back. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. This is so serious. That is why we're still here. And she'll be back. This is so serious. It is so serious. And this is the like, you've got to choose life, because this could be for some. And although we make no medical claims, the difference between life or death. Now, here's the thing. You also have to understand this, the quality of life. Don't you want a quality of life? Don't you want to get yourself to a place where you are adding more life to your years, right? Adding more years to your life, not just adding the more years to your life, but adding more life to those years as well, right? And so for you to think that your health is an expense, and for us, especially as the Latino and the African American communities, to always make our health the last priority, we need you now to begin. It's okay, Marguerite, to make your health a main priority. Make you a priority. Make your health a priority, and stop looking at, well, what I gotta pay every month. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, that makes me so angry. You know what else upsets me, Marguerite? It upsets me when people say things like, well, what's in that all natural tea y'all got? But you know what? It's so crazy. I don't see nobody asking questions about what's in it. They don't stop the chef to say, what's in that food? How much butter you putting in my on that steak? What's
That's
in them
right.
potatoes you making? You know what really makes me angry? When, because it's our people that have these excuses all the time. Well, let me go ask my doctor. Let me tell you something. Your doctor is never going to tell you, sure, certainly go take those all natural products. They're never going to tell you that. You know
No.
why? Y'all busy taking all that medication that is not healing you.
And may I say something, Mrs.
Yes,
Moore?
absolutely.
Let me say this, and y'all lean in. If you don't have friends, friend, friends that are telling you that your weight is off the chain, if you don't have friends telling you you're looking crazy because you're not eating what you're supposed to eat, see, most people will have people around them that only tell them when the good things. But I had a friend right there who, and I will be honest with you, I didn't always take the criticism as constructive because I'm human. And also, when you are overweight, your mind is not necessarily right. You take everybody's out to get you. But I had a friend who said, Marguerite, you got to get yourself together. Marguerite, you're not looking good. Marguerite, you've lost the weight before. You could do it again. Marguerite, you spent 8 years in the military. What is going on with you? So if you don't have people telling you the truth, you got to get rid of those friends. And you got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Because life is for the living. Life ain't just for me to sit up in a chair and watch TV and eat bonbons and fried foods and chicken wings and fried rice and all this other kind of stuff. Life is for me to live. And I'm not trying to, make all this money off of you. Let me tell you, this is not about money. This is about, one, helping people. But it's also about me and my conveniences. Because, see, I love to travel. I love to go to the spa. I love doing those things that I could not do before. Because I was
So
robbing Peter to pay Paul before,
not
but
just
I
that,
always had enough money for food.
but not
Let me
just
say
that.
that again.
Hold on.
Robbing
You
people
were
to pay Paul, but I was always eating well.
not
I
just
was
that,
always,
Marguerite, you couldn't travel because you were taking care of somebody who was ill.
yep.
Y'all need to hear this. You know, Marguerite, and everybody that's listening on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I told Marguerite the truth at the risk of losing her as my longtime friend. I need y'all to hear that. That there were days that I was like, oh, I'm just not going to say nothing. Oh, she's going to get mad at. Oh, literally when we were in Cancun, y'all have no idea. First, leadership is not easy. But what I need y'all to understand is felt like I was watching my friend kill herself. And because she's my friend, I told her the truth. And I knew that there was a chance that I was going to lose her as a friend because I was telling her the truth. And y'all don't know how uncomfortable it is to have to tell your friends the truth when you don't want to hurt them. My heart's desire is not to hurt her. My heart's desire is to say, wake up. You're my number one. You're my friend. I done been to your husband's funeral. I done watched your mama's funeral. I don't want to be at your funeral as your friend. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to show up to my friends' funerals. I've lost enough friends my age. And I was begging her, Marguerite, please listen to me as your friend. I don't want to be at your funeral. I don't want to do that. She knows that our cousin brother literally just died on us. And we were devastated, like devastated. When we found out that Sean passed away, devastated because he had diabetes and didn't tell us. He didn't tell us. So for those of you that think that the people around you are being hard on you and you're sick of watching our lives and sick of seeing our posts, and guess what? We don't even care. Unfriend us. Block us if you don't want to see it. We're trying to save your life. And if it's some candy and this ain't no, oh yeah, the videos are funny and our you're watching and Marguerite likes to dance and we looking funny with our, ain't nothing funny about it. And this is 2024. When are we gonna say, you know what? All right, enough is enough. We talking about we know Jesus and we know the Lord and and you know what really hit me hard when we found out that Terry had that heart attack and none of us knew, that we had to find out on Facebook 30 days after the heart attack. And then when she did that live and when she put up that post and said that the doctor said, well, the damage was already done. How much damage have we done? How much damage did I do to my poor little 5'3" body being hurt? How much damage did I do? How much damage, and finally, so to see them numbers, Marguerite knows I was probably maybe the second person she said that to, right? Because she knows how I feel about that. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want my friends to die. I want us to be able to go. I don't want her on a trip and can't really enjoy herself because she's in pain. I don't want her faking the smile because she just wants to be in the mix of things, but in the inside, she can't wait to go find somewhere to sit down. Y'all, I was literally begging her. Like, I know you can do this. You were in the middle of, like, I literally was saying those things to her. Not because I wanted to hurt her feelings, but at the risk of losing her friendship. I said it again. Mm-hmm. And in Cancun, y'all, I know it stung. And she was mad at me for a little bit. I know she was. But I knew that the Holy Spirit was going to say to her, that girl love you. That girl love you. Because I knew that I was risking our friendship, having to say the things that I said. Ladies and gentlemen, your health is your wealth. And if you don't hear anything else that we say, we're we're begging you, don't watch another one of our videos and just scroll on by. Don't just laugh at our fun. Negative videos are funny, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get your attention. Because we know that we don't make no medical claims. But what we know is that just using these products will help to give you more quality of life. That is what we want you to know. Take this seriously. Join our 30-day challenge. It started on January 1, but we don't care what day you start. Your 30-day challenge starts that day. And then we have community, we have group pages, accountability pages to help you stay on track. Because guess what? Not every one of y'all got a friend like me who gonna call you on your stuff. And not every one of you have a community or a community around you that's gonna support you through this. But we will say yes to you. Or do you really want to put your family in a position to have to roll you around in wheelchairs and to have to wipe your behind, and then you fighting them because you don't want to go to a nursing home? Y'all don't know the days that Marguerite called us or ran up to our house just to get away from all of the pressure.
All the pressure of washing my husband's body, wiping his backside when he went to the bathroom, making sure that he ate, giving him his insulin shot sometimes, having to drive everywhere we went because he could not see, having to lift him out of the car, up the stairs, into the house where he had to sit on the steps, and then helping him walk up the stairs to the bedroom, hooking up his kidney dialysis stuff because he was doing dialysis at home. And when he was doing dialysis in the place, I had to be up and have him there at 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 days a week. I love Darnell Faison, love with all my heart. But I also know this: had he caught it early, this sweet blood, this diabetes, and took honest care of himself. And I will say this too: I didn't help it, because my husband would say, can you get up and fix me pork chops and fried chicken at 9 o'clock at night because I just came from dialysis? What did I do? Because I was a good wife, I was up cooking 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. He was eating, I was eating. So as we got bigger, his life got smaller. Don't be us. Invest in your health. Because investing in your health, investing in your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. Get back to the person that invited you here today.
Yes.
And let them know, I'm ready to join the challenge. I'm ready to do the candy cleanse system. I don't want to be like Marguerite. I don't want to be like Darnell, shortening their life because they didn't take it seriously. Thank you, Mrs. Moore, for not only being a mentor, a coach, but being my friend. I haven't always liked what you said or the way that you said it, but what you said and you did was truth. And because the Holy Spirit works in you, and the Holy Spirit works in your family, I was losing my mind. And I don't even know if I've ever said this, but I was losing my mind and on the verge of a mental breakdown when I was at your house about 3 years ago. And your husband said to me, Marguerite draws the energy out of a room when she comes in because of the way she is right now. And if she's going to draw that energy out, I don't want her to be here. Mr. Moore, Paul Moore said that. And that shook my world because I didn't even know he was paying attention when I was at the
so
house.
quiet. Because he's so quiet.
But when he said that, I was like, I had to get my mind. That's when I started getting my mind right. That's when I started to grow. And my mind had to get right before I could get this right. So it's a process. But do not despise small beginnings. Listen to your friends who really have your best interests at heart. Invest in yourself and do the daggone thing. Because I want all of you to win, 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 no matter what. Thank you for letting me share, Mrs. Moore. It has been my privilege and honor to represent you and our team.
Thank you so much. Powerful, powerful, y'all. Powerful. So listen, y'all, just get back to the person that invited you here. Ask them. Say, hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get that pack that they talked about. It's going to be 2 bags of candy and it's going to be 4 packs of our drink to shrink. Make sure you get back to the person that invited you. That's a 1 month supply. You're going to get in our 30-day challenge. We even work out together, right? So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a 25-minute low impact workout. Now, I don't know. Listen, my husband, he could like push you a little, but you do the the modified version of what he's doing, right? So that you can move your body. All right. Now listen to this. Let's just say, you know what? All right, I really do want to use these products, right? I don't know if every month I'm going to have the money, but I really got to start. Here's the thing. We can even show you how you don't have to work the business, but we can have you join and we can have you refer 2 or 3 of your friends, and that will help you to get your products free. Free 99 is always the best price. Okay, you guys? And so there's where there's a will, there is a way. We can even show you how to use external apps like sorry y'all, my dog, right? Like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, Sezzle, ZipPay, because they will all give you a virtual card. And because they'll give you a virtual card, we can show you how to use those apps to pay for your products. Maybe you need to split pay, the split pay option, so that you can get what you need. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you decide to do it so that you can get your friends to join with you and everybody get healthy together, right? I'm certain that all of you know at least 2 people that have sweet blood as well, right? Then it's $129. Because I don't have any problems telling you how much it is up front. Okay. It is $129. If you choose to just want to be a preferred customer, it's $109. And that will include your shipping. And that is a full 1 month supply of the products. So before we go, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. And one of the questions I want to ask you is, are you the kind of person that will take action? Right? Because if you're the kind of person that will take action, then this should be a no-brainer for you. Are you the kind of person who's willing to invest in yourself? Are you the kind of person who is sick and tired of not feeling good? Are you the kind of person who's worried about who's going to take care of your family, God forbid, if something were to happen to you? Are you the kind of person who you know needs to better their health? Are you the person listening to the sound of my voice right now, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching a replay, who knows that they need to lose 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 pounds? If you said yes to any of these questions, if you said yes to any of these questions, get back to the person that invited you to look at this information, get their link, and order your products now. Okay? If you are a friend of mine, you know what to do, right? Get in that inbox and I will get right back to you today so that we could get your products ordered. After you get your products ordered, you're going to get added to our community challenge page. You're going to get tagged to a post that's going to lay out the steps for you. Step 1, step 2, step 3, right? And then make sure that you join us. Stay active in that page. Join us for our virtual workout. Listen, everyone that started on Monday, the 1st, they're going to weigh in on this Monday. We're going to give away some prizes on Monday. All right, you guys? So for those people, there are some people, I'm telling you, we're going to have fun in that page. We're going to have some giveaways in that page. So, I'm even thinking we all should get some hula hoops or something like that, right? I am awful with the hula hoop, but I'm willing to try. All right, you guys? And so stay tuned, you guys. I'm so excited that all of you decided, those of you that decided to listen to this live, if you're watching it live, hit a 1 in the chat, right? Let us know that you watched it during the live. If you watch the replay, hit a 2 in the chat, comment 2, and that way we'll know that you actually came back to watch the replay. We know that this was long, right? But guess what? So are funerals. I'm not stuck. Now, we also are going to share a story with you over the weekend, Sheila, of Susan Booker. Susan Booker's A1C level was 14. It is now at a 6. All right. It was a 14. It is now at a 6, Sabrina. And not only is it at a 6, Susan Booker, in 8 months of using our Drink to Shrink and our 3 capsule system, right? She just started adding some candy. She's down 80 pounds, 80 pounds, 90 pounds, 80 pounds, 90 pounds. She's down 90 pounds in 8 months' time. I had to remember my post that I put up. She's down 90 pounds in 8 months' time. Here's what I want to ask you. For all of you that are on some form of medication, right? For you to say, I got to use them products for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I want to ask you, how many years have you been on the medication that you're on? And you're still not healed. I'm waiting. I wait. How many years have you been on the medications that you're on and you are not yet healed? So to say, well, how long am I going to have to? What do you mean? What do you mean? What does that even mean? If we're showing you now, and let me say this about Susan Booker. We're going to hear more from her possibly tomorrow. She said, Tracy, that the doctors were like, yes, your medicine is working. And let me tell you, Jermaine, what Susan told her doctor. No, the medicine isn't working. I stopped using it. It wasn't the medicine. She said it was my Drink to Shrink and my 3 capsule system. She said, no, doctor, I stopped using your meds. So again, although we make no medical claims, we're only giving you testimonies about the people who are having success using the Candy Cleanse system and our 3 capsule Epic system. Go ahead and get back to the person that invited you to listen to this information. I pray that you listen to this entire interview. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, y'all. I'm just learning this whole how to add Instagram, and adding Instagram kind of makes things a little bit, a little hectic for me. However, I think you got the point. All right. We are trying to help you live a more quality of life. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, even those of you that we don't know, right? Have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.